Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys already know, what this video is going to be about from the thumbnail. So let's get started. Okay, if you're somebody that's in the social work field already, you're in college, you're in high school, or you're just interested in helping others, which one of those ways is in social work, then this is the video for you. And if you're also somebody that wants to know more about income in social work, and there's what type of jobs are out there to make at least about 60K or more in social work annually, then this is the video for you. So I just thought this was a great video because a lot of people feel that social workers don't make money, and that's a bias, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do social work at first, because I'm like, oh, social workers don't make a lot of money. So let's get into the video. So the first career I'd like to talk to you guys about is called a corporate social responsibility manager. Okay, these are where social workers, this is one part of a career where social workers work in. Okay, it's a fancy title, okay, and it has a really great fancy description. I'll just guide you guys through and break it down in Latin terms so you guys can understand. So the first one is pretty much there are sectors of different companies that take a stand and they get involved within one's own local community, okay, such as like McDonald's, Apple, Google, Microsoft, etc. Okay, these are some big companies, okay, and they need social workers behind the scenes to see, is everybody getting treated equally? Is there anything that we can do to help out in the community? You know what I mean? So all right, so a social worker will help this company to become aware and exposed to social issues within the community, okay, to support causes that are occurring within the society. And social issues is, in Latin terms, okay, it's pretty much an issue that's occurring in the society as of today that's prolonging people from achieving their goal or achieving what they want to achieve, right? So if someone's in poverty, which means, you know, of course, they don't have the financial means to live on their own, or they can't afford food, that's a goal that they need to reach, and they can't reach that if, you know, if it's hard for them to find a job, or it's hard for them to find transportation, or it's hard for them to live, you know, live somewhere, right? So homeless is another one, because in homelessness you have nowhere to live, which can be hard because that's a huge social issue. Because if you have nowhere to live, how are you being able to fit your everyday needs, such as having food in the house, having someplace to stay and stuff like that? Those are just a couple to name off. I just want to give you guys a couple examples so that makes sense. And then for these type of companies, these big companies that I just named a little bit ago, like a couple minutes ago, money is usually put aside for companies so that they can support, you know, these causes and help donate money to different nonprofit organizations within companies, right? So anybody that you guys know, you know, I know this isn't really like a social worker standpoint, like it's not like a social worker works in a church. There may be, I don't know. If you guys know of a social worker that works in a church, drop in the comment section down below, because I don't think I've ever met a social worker that works in a church. But you guys do know that at churches, they're very giving, and they love giving back, like, to the community, right? To their local community. And the church that is within my community, you know, they're always giving back. They're always helping the homeless. They have, like, during the winter time, they open up part of the church for the homeless men, and different people at the church help volunteer to help, you know, work the shift, but they're not getting paid. They're doing it for their will, just from the love of the Lord. They're just doing it with no money. They're not earning any money from it, and they help feed the homeless, and they have somewhere to stay, and they just pretty much work shifts to make sure that everybody is, well, I'm sorry, volunteering, so that everybody, you know, there's people there to watch everybody and help. And then another one is like the church, the same church, they have like they have volunteer work where they have, like, anybody. You can be a kid, you can be a teenager, you can be a child, or you can be an adult, geriatric, whatever. Once again, geriatric is the older population, and they help back into the community. So maybe they will help break down a house with the renovators that are trying to build a new house for a family that's in need, or help gardening somewhere. Just small little things like that to help, to give back to the community. Which also brings me to some of these big sector companies that we discussed earlier that I named. They also have employees get involved in social issues by volunteering within their area, right? So this is where community service gets involved. So with this type of career, which once again is a corporate social responsibility manager, your average salary is around $81,000, okay? That's pretty good. And think about it, the higher you are in the field, right? So the more experience you get. And then once you've been working and you get up there, you might be the director of the corporate social responsibility company, and you're going to be making maybe $90,000 to $100,000, okay? But remember, this varies by your state and everything else, but that's the average salary within the US. I thought that was something great to share with you guys. Another one is a therapist with a private practice. So you guys know that in order to be a therapist, you have to pass your licensure exam, which is your LSW, which is a licensed social worker, okay? LSW. And then if you want to own your own private practice or open up your own private practice, you have to have your LCSW, which is a licensed clinician social work. There's a lot of different rules and regulations that go into that, but there's some amount of hours you have to reach and stuff like that. And then from there, then you're able, this is a gateway for you to be able to open your own private practice. And then you can hire other licensed social workers or therapists to work in your office, which could be like case managers at a BSW level, therapists at an MSW level, and you're bringing in more people to work underneath of you. And then you can work for the government, the state. It can be a nonprofit therapy office. And then keep in mind with having your own therapy office that you're able to decide what you will charge per therapy session, okay? And I'm looking down at my notes. If you guys see me like looking down, that's why, okay? So then based upon the location, you guys, and the clientele that you have, you may not want to set like the therapy hour amount like per hour like too high, because you may be working with a very vulnerable or population that is in poverty and they can't afford that, and they only have Medicaid or Medicare. So you want to be mindful of that and what type of population that you want to help bring therapy sessions to. If it is for people that have Medicaid and Medicare, then you're going to have to set the prices at a reasonable amount to where you can work with Medicaid and Medicare and accept that and bill for that. If you want it higher, then you're going to have to work around that and figure out what you're going to do next. And the annual salary for this is around $86,000. And once again, this can be more too, depending on how big your private practice is, how many therapists and case managers you have there, how long you've been in the business for, how high or how low your therapy session costs, okay? So that's something to think about. The next one is a policy analyst. So a policy analyst works for a consulting agency or the government. They look at the policies that are pretty much being implemented for these companies, and then they weigh out the positive and the negatives, and then this allows them to decide, okay, how can this be revised? So let me give you guys an example. For instance, okay, for the whole, let's talk about the higher education, I think it's called like the Higher Education Act. I think that's where it was under. And if you guys are in college and you're a student, most students qualified for a grant. I forgot what the grant was called. I think it was called like a COVID-19 Emergency Act Fund or something. So it's for college students that need that money based off your income, and they give you, I think like last summer they had gave us anywhere from like $500 to $1,000. So, and then they gave out another, I think they had gave out another one recently, or I don't remember, but there had to have been a social worker, right, or a policy analyst behind the scenes saying, okay, college students that are in school, yes, they may not be working or anything like that, or maybe they are working, but they need to be eligible. They need to get some type of benefit from this, because if you guys know, when it came to the COVID-19 stimulus package, if you were under, if you're like, I forgot how it works, but I know like if your parents claimed you on their taxes and you were under a certain age, you didn't get that COVID-19 stimulus check. So if you were in college, you got this, okay? So there's just a lot of behind the scenes that we don't see and that we don't know that goes into that. And there is some type of policy analyst or social worker behind the scenes advocating for us students to get those benefits, perks, and a little bit of that money, because we all deserve money, right? So that's just an example, you guys, to help you guys like understand it a little bit better. A policy analyst also helps work to raise public awareness of social issues such as crime prevention, access access to healthcare and protection of the environment. So when creating solutions, they propose these policies so that the policy analysts hope to influence the government to change a policy. Okay, so they're just pretty much the ones behind the scenes looking at these policies that are already implemented for the state or even nationwide, and they try to find the positives about the policy and the negatives, and then try to think of some ways that it can be improvised so that others can benefit from it as well. Another example might be when you qualify for financial aid. Okay, that's another one, right? You're in college, based off your income, you may qualify or may not qualify. Every year there might be a policy analyst behind the scenes looking to say, okay, I get that this is the requirements that you have to meet in order to qualify for financial aid, but let's revamp this. Let's change the annual salary to this amount, or let's lessen it so that more students can qualify. There's just so many behind the scenes that we don't see. So that's another example, okay? And the annual salary for this is around $74,000. And another one is a hospital social worker, okay? I don't know if you guys know, but there are hospital social workers that work in the hospital, okay? And then based upon, you know, I forgot what I was gonna say, I'm sorry. But anywho, a medical social worker is responsible for the areas of care management or case management and assist patients and families in understanding patient conditions and treatments, okay? So let's say a family, their grandmother's in the hospital and she has cancer, or she hurt her knee, and you're not understanding, you're frustrated, you know, you have every right to be frustrated. Maybe you're so mad that you snap on the doctor, and that's okay because we all handle things differently. That's where a social worker may come in and sit down and talk to the family and explain to them this is what's happening, and be empathetic and listen to the family and provide them with resources to help them through this difficult time, okay? They also help patients and family members to develop coping techniques or strategies. They assess the patient's need, assist in the development of the treatment plans, and provide emotional and mental assessments of the patient. So like if a patient's maybe, I'm assuming, okay, so if a patient's like suicidal, or if they're like staying there for a certain amount of time, pretty much, a social worker has to come in and do an assessment to check their mental and emotional mental stability, and then, you know, you ask them why they're there, you talk to them, and then once they leave, you have to help them find resources if they need that, to help them find the right resources for them, whether that be if they need a caregiver, whether that be if they need transportation to their doctor's appointments, whether that be they don't have insurance and they need it, whether that be they don't have a place to stay, so you need to find them somewhere to live, okay? So that's just all, you know, that's some of the things that a social worker does at the hospital. And then also hospital social workers also offer bereavement counseling, which I think bereavement counseling is pretty much just like when someone passes away, or like there's a really traumatic thing happening with their family member in the hospital and you need some support, you need someone to talk to. They assist with patient discharge, which is pretty much when the doctor releases the patient to leave. You can help discharge with that, and you're the one that helps find them services if they need services before they can be discharged out of the hospital, whether, like I said, transportation, home, like somewhere to live, a caregiver, etc. Maybe they need assistance with food, maybe they need clothes, stuff like that. And then the medical social workers or the hospital social workers also handle the arrangement of in-home care services, which is pretty much what I told you. If they need help inside the house, then you have to reach out and you have to be the advocate for the patient and find those resources for them. And then the annual salary for this is around $63,000. And then last but not least, we have Veterans Affairs, okay? I wanted to add this in here because a lot of people overlook the VA. There's so much to the VA when doing my research, and I think it's very interesting to discuss this one. I already discussed this in my other video, but it's a really, really, really good career. So social workers who work for the Veterans Affairs, or known as the VA, usually work for the government, okay? So first of all, there's great perks working for the government. You're getting 401k, okay? You're getting pretty much 401k is like money they take out of your check every 2 weeks, and I don't know if it's based upon the company and what they say, okay, you're gonna take out, we're gonna take out $100 every 2 weeks, or if it's based upon your preferences, and then you say, hey, we're gonna take out, let's take out 100 or 200 on my check, and then when you retire, you get to use those funds, okay, to your discretion. And I'm sure as long as you're like still working for that, if you're still working for the VA, okay? I don't know the rules if you quit and go somewhere else. And then you have vacation time, PTO, paid time off. If you need to take a time off and you don't have any more vacation days, you can use PTO. Okay, those are all great benefits. And then obviously they have these social workers help provide evaluative, preventative, therapeutic, restorative, and personal care services for the veterans. They help veterans find resources to meet their needs within the VA system or their community, okay? Because social workers offer counseling for veterans with drug, alcohol, and emotional problems. Keep in mind that people that are in the service, right? You see these pictures, you see they're living the life, they're traveling, they're going all over, but it's not always what you think it is, okay? There's a lot of behind the scenes that we don't get to see. There's a lot of mental and psychological and emotional distress, okay? Now, I'm not saying, disclaimer, because I don't want you guys to come back and say that I said this, I said that. There are some people that are happy in the Army, Navy, service, whatever. They're happy with it, and they want to do it until they retire. But there's others that deal with a lot of things. They might have an addiction in there, they might have a mental illness, they might be homeless afterwards because they have nowhere to live. There's just a lot with the VA, and there's a lot of people that are needed to work on the VA, more specifically social workers, and that's where we come in and help them and provide them resources, give them therapy, find them somewhere to live, stuff like that. Because there's a lot of people that come out of the Army, not everybody, but some that come out of the Army and they're homeless, they have nowhere to live, or they're addicted to something, and you know, they need to go to rehabilitation, they need to go to a rehab or a detox center to detox out of the drugs so that they can get clean again. There's just a lot that happens behind the scenes that we don't know about or see about, and that's where social workers come in to help be empathetic and help them through their journey and their process, okay? And the annual salary for this is around $75,000. So this is it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys some clarity and some good careers that you can work in. All careers in social work are good, okay guys? But these are some places that you can work at and make over 60K a year, okay? And there's amongst many more. If you like this video, go ahead and give this video a big fat thumbs up. If there's any other type of social work videos you want me to discuss, go ahead and drop it in the comment section down below. Also put in the comment section down below where your journey is. Where are you in your social work journey? Are you in college? Are you out of college? Are you in the field already? Are you in high school? Are you changing majors? I want to get to know you guys. I know I have some new subscribers, and I want to get to know you guys. So I will see you guys next time, and you guys have a great day. Bye.